Hey y'all, today it is time to sit down, do a recap for our club tournament at Berryessa this last weekend. We got the baits that we're catching them on. We got some beer, Hen House Illuminati, great beer, and cheers. Let's get after this. All right, so Saturday. We had just come off of a storm on Thursday, which then turned into bright clear skies on Friday, and then went back to raining all day and super cold on Saturday. We're just going to kind of go over the day. Saturday in the morning, for me, it was not what I was expecting and covered a lot of different areas and struggled pretty hard. All of my deep rock didn't have fish. All my shallow rock didn't have fish. Kind of was clueless throughout most of the beginning of the day. That did change by the end of the day. The only thing we had was a fish on drop shot. This is Sorry Steve, which is Flick Shake Watermelon Candy, 4.8, and my partner threw up shallow on a small rock point and picked up our first keeper of the day. That was everything for us before noon. How about you? How was your morning?
Morning was slow. We picked up a couple dinks, but no keepers. All in drop shots, the Flick Shake. But it was slow. I didn't start picking up until about noon.
So you are again the same thing where it was an afternoon bite.
Correct.
Which normally this time of the year, if you're trying to look for a really active bite, that afternoon is that time. So it kind of fits.
Yeah. My partner did make a mistake. Underspin coming out. I saw the fish come out and hit it on the active target. And I said, "Hey, I think it hit it." He goes, "Well, my line went light."
Yeah, my line went light. I don't know what.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing else that's gonna make it go light.
Yeah, but
it happens.
All good.
It happens. So that's mostly it. It rained all day long. It never stopped raining. I, to be completely honest, wanted to go home at about 11 o'clock, noon. My partner talked me into sticking around. And I'm glad he did, because that afternoon really got better for me. And that was actually hopping an LV. This is like a ghost minnow. It's a little bit shinier than a ghost minnow. I don't know the name of it. But hopping the LV on a rock point and back-to-back casts, boom, boom. And then I got stuck, hung up, and since it's such an expensive bait, I pulled up in there, and I actually could watch them on forward scan get pushed off of the rock. So I ruined my own bite. I could have broke it off, but yeah, you know, it's an expensive bait to me. Then I moved from there to another rock spot and was hopping out on that, had others come up, but could see on forward scan off to the right, there was these nice fish off this little ledge. So I start burning it in, and as I'm burning it in, following along a weed line, our biggest fish of the day hit and creamed it. I'm at 7-5-1, burning this thing in as fast as I can go to get that next cast, and it stopped it dead. That was pretty much our last bite for the whole day. It was very slow for me. We had 4 fish for 881. I was not the only one that struggled. We only had one limit for that entire, out of all of the boats that were fishing in our club, there was only one limit. That's how tough it got. For you, how'd your afternoon go?
I got into an area and throwing jerk bait. I was throwing a 110 junior mega bass +1 in Tennessee shad.
Tennessee shad.
And 2 spots, creamed it. And I thought it was on.
Yeah.
That's all we did.
Just caught like a little pack or something where they got in with each other?
Yeah, in a little cove, right, the first and secondary point. In between that, that's where they bit, and that was it.
I was fishing mainly north end, near Puda Creek, that area, just that north end up there. Day 2, Sunday, his partner backed out to go duck hunting, and my partner didn't quite have the right rain gear, and I mean, I'm pretty sure he was thinking about the couch and a movie most of the day on Saturday because it was miserable on Saturday. I don't blame him. I kind of wanted to pull the same trick he did and not fish on Sunday also, so I have zero problems about that one. So we actually ended up fishing together on Sunday. Sunday morning, we started back off at that rock where I had caught the 2 LV fish. I missed a really good one on that LV. Just my own fault. Didn't lean into him hard enough. Missed the bite. And then, what time was it when we moved?
We moved pretty early. It was probably 8:30.
8:30.
9 o'clock when we moved from there.
There's a lot of fish in that area, just not active fish. There were definitely a lot more put off on Sunday. Minus what we found after we moved down towards the mid-lake Big Island area, and why don't you tell them what we found there?
So over there around the Big Island, we went to in an area where I caught the 2 jerkbait fish. James picked up a fish, a keeper, our first fish of the day, on a Sorry Steve or a flick shake.
In the back of a cove, in like the center of the back of a cove.
Right. And we kind of were like, we knew there was fish behind the Big Island. We've seen them before in the weeds, so we decided to go back there. But it is weedy back there. So we decided to throw A-rigs, right? Try to burn banks, see what's going on. The rain started to come down hard.
And the wind
picked up pretty hard. The wind was blowing from the north to the south. And on the south-facing points, when you throw over into the deep water and bring it back towards the point before the weed line hit, there'd be a fish.
Yeah, you'd actually kind of like clip that weed point off, where if it actually fully got in, you'd actually end up in the weeds, and they were eating it right then, right before it hit those weeds. So you'd either get a fish or you get weeds.
Yeah, pretty much.
And all the points ended up, after the fact, when we looked at where we got eaten, every single one of them pointed the same direction across that whole cove of where we actually got eaten. So if we had figured that out a little bit earlier, we probably could have capitalized on that and moved on to some other points that we knew of, but we didn't figure that out until after the sun broke out.
Yeah.
And in that, we were throwing A-rigs. This one here is actually, this one's bluegill flash, which I was throwing some of those. And then this is the threadfin shad. He was throwing other colors that weren't these 2 colors even. Still didn't matter. He got bit. The true answer is you just need a shad color. Something on the lighter side, not as dark, of shad. This is the Flash Mob Junior. And that's pretty much it for that.
The dirty jig.
Oh, and then the dirty jig hooks is what I throw on these, or what we both throw on these. After that spot, after that all died down, those fish actually moved off into the deep and were no longer active. They were mud buttoned to the bottom, and we decided we needed to get out of there.
That's when when the rain stopped, the sun came out, they moved deep.
They went deep. There were fish in weeds, but we did not have the patience to try and figure out how to. We spent a little bit of time on them, but we didn't spend a ton of time on them. That would probably be the only thing that I would have said that I probably would have done a little bit was actually try to figure them out a little bit more, because they were there and there definitely was a lot of them. But instead we moved back up to the rock that I had the LV fish on from Saturday, and I think I picked one up. Yeah, I picked one up, and then I lost on an LV. I picked one up. That was our 5th fish of the day, to get a limit. And then I lost a really good one that felt nice and chunky on drop shot. Again, was my fault. I did not fish clean for the weekend, and that really hurt me. That's definitely for sure.
It was a tough weekend with the storms rolling in, rolling out, the pressure was changing throughout the weekend, all weekend.
Yeah. When you're on the water and you feel like your ears need to pop and you need to like pop your ears, that's how fast the pressure was changing on Sunday. As I actually felt like I needed to pop my ears, and I knew that was not a good sign.
Get good rain gear though.
Get good rain gear. This weekend kind of sets up the same way coming up. There is a lot more wind though.
Yeah, there is going to be a lot more wind, which would be better for the A-rig.
Yeah, which would be better for the A-rig. Basically, they're not out at their deep rock right now as much as they normally are this time of year, and they're not really shallow. They're kind of in that like floating in between interim.
Yeah.
They are coming up shallow to eat. I think almost all of my fish were in like 7 foot or less, 6 foot or 7 foot or less. But those are just the eaters. I saw a ton of fish between 20 and 30. I just couldn't get them to eat.
Yeah, 100%.
Anything else we're missing?
No.
I think that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, you could always message me on Instagram, Straight Hooked Fishing, or hit me up here, leave a comment or anything like that. I'm more than willing to help you guys and share my experiences, because realistically, we're all here to learn. That's the best part about YouTube on this. So until next time, I hope you get them.
Some good beer.
It was good beer.